Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Hey guys, good morning. Well, it's noon now, so good afternoon. The original link to the video, top of the description. My name's Connor if you're new. 9 weird things British people do that they think is normal. We'll do a like, a subscribe. Let's check it out.
Last 7 years, I have noticed me as a Canadian who has lived in the UK for the last 7 years, I have noticed that the Brits do some weird things that they think are normal. So today, I am going to share their secrets. And without further ado, let's go. Make sure to leave a comment down below. What is a weird thing that British people do and they think it's normal? Maybe you do it. Do you do anything weird? Let me know. Number 1, it is totally
feel what the list is gonna be.
to buy a caterpillar cake. And everyone knows who it is. So
I forget the name.
British quirk came up around Christmas time. My mom was here for a visit and I had to explain who Colin the Caterpillar is. I actually made my own Colin the Caterpillar cake on Patreon a couple years ago. If you want to join me on Patreon, that'd be awesome. No worries if not. But
I do feel like the classic, like if you get an ice cream cake for your birthday, it's usually the same kind of ice cream cake. But it's nothing special and kind of unique like the caterpillar.
Colin,
it looks like a bunch of donuts.
Went about as well as you'd expect it.
Oh, she made it.
I just think it is so cute and funny and silly.
Wait, did she say that that's bad? That looks pretty good.
Awesome, no worries if not. But my Colin went about as well as you'd expect it. I just think it is so cute and funny and silly that as a population, we all know who the caterpillar is. You don't even have to say it. Or you could just talk about Colin. I'm gonna go out and get a Colin. And everybody knows. He's just part of the family. Until you eat him, of course. Number 2, a weird thing that Brits do that they think is normal is consume some of the most creative sandwiches I've ever seen. Can I interest you in a chip buddy?
Bacon sandwich?
Yes. That is a sandwich where the inside
just fries?
Chips. Just like the name implies. Now, again, I do have to say,
my problem with this concept, it's like a bread. There's too much, because fries, chips, they're like a bready material. It's going to be so dry. What do you put a lot of ketchup on it or something?
I made one of these on Patreon and I get it. I'm not making fun. I totally get it. There is something absurd about a chip buddy. I think we can all agree, but we can also agree that they're fabulous. You could also have a pot noodle sandwich.
What?
Or what about a fish finger sandwich?
I mean, that's a fish sandwich. That's fine.
Have a pot noodle.
Stop. Stop.
Sandwich.
Is it? Stop.
Or what
I draw the line there.
About a fish finger sandwich?
There's nothing wrong with that.
The Brits have just an unbelievable amount of sandwiches, and of course lots of people use different words for sandwich depending where in the UK you are. I just think it's fabulous that you can just
sandwich.
You could put whatever you want between 2 slices of bread.
Another sandwich.
And call it a day. Number 3, we have pet names from strangers. Now, I remember very vividly when I first moved to the UK, I think I even talked about it in a video where it made me feel really uncomfortable when strangers would call me love or sweetheart or any of that kind of thing, because I just inherently viewed that as condescending.
Maybe it's different because she's a girl, you know, a woman. But I love that. If an older, like, woman, like I would take that very differently. But maybe because she's a woman, it's a little different. But I would love that.
That's just, if you heard that in North America, sometimes that's how it comes across. But of course here, that is not what it's all about. So it is not uncommon to hear a whole variety of pet names from complete strangers, and oftentimes people you will never see again. Love, lovely, sweetheart, duck, yes. pet, darling. I mean, there's so many. And while it kind of threw me off at first, now I absolutely love it. I think it's very
I would love that, yeah.
sweet. It's just sweet. And yes, they can be used in a condescending way. If the situation calls for it, yeah, it could be done in a negative way, but typically it's not. I was at a cafe the other day and the woman serving me said something like, "Here you go, love." It's so nice. Or the other day, I was getting a parcel delivered and the postie, what a great word. The postie was like, "You have a great day, sweetheart." It's like, you know what? I will have a great day. I just think it's really nice, and I do wish that Canada did it, you know? Like, you may hear the odd pet name, but it's really not done in Canada or the US on a day-to-day basis. But
I guess I can imagine sweetheart. Like, here you go, sweetheart. Yeah, I can imagine that over here. Here you go, love is definitely more of a British thing, I think.
Here it's just, you know, love, lovely, sweetheart, duck. I love it. I just think it's very sweet. And it's just a nice thing. Next up, number 4. Is it number 4?
I don't know.
I hope it is.
I think so.
For number 4, I would like to show you a clip from one of my videos. Now, this was from a vlog that I did when I went to my first ever beer festival, or a hops festival. And this was in the video, and I was like, I don't know what that is. Can somebody help me? And everybody in the comments was like, it's Morris dancing. Obviously. So I had a little bit of a Google. The earliest known and surviving English written mention of Morris dance is dated to 1448, and it is described as a form of English folk dancing.
Never heard of that.
Fascinating. I think it goes without saying that I never saw that in Canada or America. I've just never seen it. But saying that though, I have seen it multiple times here in the UK, especially at like festivals or events or like days out, those types of things. And while it is kind of weird when you look at it, you know, you got some men sort of like slapping their feet, and usually like someone's got a stick and maybe there's like bells and stuff, and you're like, this is kind of weird. I do really appreciate the fact that people still do it. And honestly, one of the things I love about living in the UK is that you are surrounded by history. And a lot of times I mean that by the buildings and the architecture and that kind of stuff, but also with stuff like this. Yeah, when you look at it on the face of it, it's a bit silly and it's a bit weird. But I love that this is like history. And people are still doing it. Number 5, I simply call suns out, shirts off. So here in the UK, how can I describe this? Well, quite simply, when the sun comes out, the men take their shirts off. Whether they should or not, it's not part of the question. Now, where I'm from in Southern Ontario, we have some wonderful weather. I know people don't think about that. We have wonderful weather like late spring into the summer and then like into the fall. Beautiful weather.
She's Southern Ontario. So I'm guessing between like Buffalo and Detroit, in that area of Canada. Where, I know Buffalo and Detroit are U.S. cities, but where Ontario kind of goes down, it goes in that area where a lot of places in the U.S. are going to be more north than that is. And so I can see that. And you're around the Great Lakes, probably get a little weather effect.
Like 30 degrees. But if you were to walk around a small town in Ontario, like where I'm from, you would never ever see a man walking through town without his shirt on. You're not going to see it. The only time you will see like shirts off is at the beach, where it should be. But no, there is a portion of the British population that participates in suns out, shirts off. The minute the sun is out, the minute that it's even remotely nice out, men are taking their shirt off, and they're often like town center, which... Please stop. This is one of those things, you know what? I'll take Morris dancing but put your shirt back on. It's not even that hot out. Number 6, we have a very integral British quirk that so many of them do, and now I do it, and that's quite simply when you're ready to go, when you're ready to leave some event or a friend's house or whatever, you slap your knees and you say, right, well, we best be off. You slap your knees and you
All
say,
right.
well, better be going. You slap your knees and say,
Well,
wow, is that the time? We should get a move on. There's something about slapping the knees that is so...
What about like, you're like, all right, and then right in the middle of getting up, someone starts the next sentence, and it's like, okay. Well, never mind.
It's so integral to British culture. And I know so many people do it without thinking. I do it now without thinking. And to be fair, it is a really great like visual cue. Like you don't want to be...
All right, I want to stop this conversation right now. So, hey, I no longer want to talk. I want to go do something. Instead of saying that, well...
rude or awkward, but you are kind of being awkward, that you want to leave, but you don't know how to say that. You can't just come out and say, okay,
Yeah.
I think we need to go now.
It's got to be an art of like, how do you know the perfect time to use it without the other person starting a sentence again?
You have to do the knee slap. Everybody respects the knee slap. It's just wonderful. I love it. Is it weird? A little bit. I think that's fair to say it's a little bit weird, but I think it's great. Number 7 of weird things Brits do, and it has to do with how they treat people. Now, this is very confusing if you come from a country where this is not done, but let me explain. Sometimes you will find when a British person is very polite to somebody, you know, lots of manners, very polite, very friendly, they hate that person and they despise them. On the other hand, sometimes when you hear a British person calling another person every name under the sun, it means that they love them. The banter in this country is unbelievable.
Just a bit of
and
banter.
this sort of like banter among friends can be really confusing. I remember my first job here in the UK, I was working in...
I mean, that happens here as well. Maybe not to the same extent. Maybe it's like my issue with queuing, right? Where I was like, you know, I don't get the stereotype of you know, why is Britain known for queuing, you know, getting in line? Where is the place in the world that doesn't respect a line when it's formed? But then I realized there are places where you wouldn't form a line here, like getting on a subway, for instance. Often it's just get to the door and cram yourself in when you can. So I guess it's going to be sort of like that. Of course, you know, when guys are friendly, you're going to be poking fun at each other, right? That might come across as ill-natured, or is that the word? As not nice to someone else, but when it's in friends, it's different. Things can go overboard, sure, but I guess that might be the same concept for Brits. Maybe they just do it more.
Be really confusing. I remember my first job here in the UK, I was working in an office, and you really learn about social dynamics in an office, let me tell you. And if you come from a country that doesn't do that, it can be really alarming. There have been situations, honestly, I'll admit it, where
Canadian, that's why.
maybe at work somebody says something that's like really mean to me, and I'm just like, oh my god, they hate me. This is it. I have to leave England. These people hate me. And then someone has to say, no, they like you. That's why they're doing it. It's banter. You're one of the group, right? You're part of the gang. But let me tell you, it is devastating. I will say, now that I've lived in England for over 7 years, when someone is really polite to me, I get worried, because in your head, you're like, oh my...
I think she's overthinking it. All right. I think you're overthinking it a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe you guys can tell me no, she's not overthinking it. But I don't think it's that, you know, complicated. You're more friendly around someone. You're going to kind of poke fun at them. It's fun. It's you know, as long as there is some good-natured talk surrounded by it, and you know the person, if the only way a person interacts with you is through, you know, is through the banter, right? Maybe, yeah, that you need to tell them, like, I don't know. Or you need to do it back, you know? But I think if, like, you don't know someone well, or you're just starting to meet them and they're nice, I don't think that means that they don't like you. It's just they're not comfortable enough with you. I guess the rule would be if you are comfortable and you know someone enough and they're still just completely nice to you, then maybe. Am I overthinking this or is she overthinking this?
My God. Do they hate me?
Wait.
Why are they being so polite? Number 8 on our list. Is it your birthday? Oh my God, happy birthday.
Not even
You
close.
bring in treats. So one thing that I found quite surprising, whenever I would arrive at the office, I'm coming in, maybe my bus had been late, not surprising, and there'd be treats out. There'd be little cakes, maybe, you know, the little Tesco, you can get like those little miniature cakes, maybe some cupcakes, maybe some biscuits, and you're like, ooh, whose birthday is it? And it was always that person who brought in the treats. On the flip side, when I was working in Canada, I was actually at a school. So these are two like school office environments. In Canada though, if we knew it was gonna be one of the teachers' birthdays or whatever, we would bring in the treats, because it's their birthday. Saying that though, also participating in a kitty or in the kitty, a kitty would come around the office in England and you'd put in a couple of pounds towards a present for the birthday person. So the birthday person brings in their own treats, but at least our office, we would have a kitty with that would go towards a gift for them as well. And if your office is big enough, like we had a decent amount of people in the office.
Forget it.
It was always somebody's birthday.
Yeah.
There were cakes.
I'm gonna be the person that probably everyone hates. It's just like, can we just not do this stuff? Sorry.
Out more often than.
If the whole world was me's, right? You ever think about like if the whole world was you, every person was you, how would the world go? And in some cases, I think it would go pretty well, but in a lot, it would be the most dreadful place.
Not. For number 9, weird things British people do that they think is normal. Can you guess?
I'm sorry, like nothing would happen. There would be no birthday parties, no holiday parties. Oh God, I'm starting to get depressed.
British people do that they think is normal. Can you guess? I hope you can.
Huh?
There were cakes out more often than not.
Turns out cakes out.
Weird things British people do that they think is normal. Can you guess?
How am I supposed to guess?
I hope you can't. And if you can guess, that's really weird. But it is, in fact, how they say goodbye. All right, it was so nice
Toodaloo.
talking to you. See you later. Bye.
Toodles.
Bye, 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 bye. See ya. Bye. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye.
I hung up after the first bye.
I love how drawn out the goodbyes are. Sometimes you see it in person, sometimes you hear it on the phone. I love it. How many times do you say goodbye when you're trying to end a conversation?
Like when I was a teenager, or like and like my mom gave me a call. Yeah, I was like, okay. All right, shit, even now. All right. Okay. Yep. Well, no, more back then. It's like, okay. All right. Yep. Yep. All right. Okay. So like that or
Count next time. If you would like to watch more videos, which would be totally awesome, why not check out this one, Why Everybody Loves the UK.
Sure.
But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, bye,
Great
bye,
video.
Bye. Bye. See you later.
I see.
Bye.
I see. All right. Okay. She seems really nice. That was great.
Biscuits.
What was that video she recommended?
Hi everyone, it's me.
I might give that one a watch. This seems like a great channel. Cool. Did I learn anything? Now I'm just thinking about the banter thing, and now I'm overthinking it. Awesome video. Love y'all. Hope you're all doing well. Would appreciate any comments down below, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye.